unapenda nchi ya Kenya. Na ndio sababu tunakusifu na kusema asante. Asante kwa show hii, asante kwa ndugu Bitok, asante kwa vijana naofanya kazi nao. Mungu endelea kuwabariki. Ni kwa jina la Yesu tunaomba na kuamini. Amen.
Na ujomba nisaidie pesa ya simu nyingine.
Simu ni utapisha.
Unaweza rudi.
Maombi imeenda.
Ushamalizana na appointment. Yes. By the way, hebu niambie leo asubuhi experience yako ya kuibiwa simu Nairobi. Ushaibiwa simu Nairobi? Na kama umeibiwa experience ni gani? Unatafuta simu mpaka socks, unaamini na vile unaota. Niliona jamaa bana akikata kona mguu asha cross lame. Ushaibiwa simu Nairobi? Experience yako ilikuwa wapi? Ulifinyiwa wapi? Simu yako iliendea wapi? Nairobi utatuambia Nairobi ni vipi? Kama ushainyoroshwa Nairobi, natuambia ulisikia vipi? Simu yako iliibiwa wapi? Ulisikia namna gani? Leo nimekaribishwa Nairobi jana jioni, ndio nimefika officially. Kwa zaidi ya miaka 10 nimekuwa, lakini kukaribishwa sijakaribishwa. Mushiki Daniel anasema good morning Tatakol, Perry Rop, good morning to you Perry. Good to see you Maina Wanjuki, Rumberi Huno. Haya, asante sana, karibu kwa HKip Kemboy Vidal anasema keep up the good work. Good morning Bitok, watching live from Kipkelion East Kericho County. Pamoja sana Peter KE. Greetings from KSS Wazingishu County, going live. Asante sana ndugu yangu all the way Peter KE from KSS. Dennis Maina, good morning to you. Mushiki Daniel anasema pole kwa kuibiwa simu. Nasikia inaitwa kuwekewa. Unasema kuibiwa ni makosa. Atio bado ni uchumi, part of the economy. Kwa hivyo circulation of resources. Ukimalizana nayo kutumia kidogo, pia ndugu yako Mkenya mwenzako aweza kuisongesha, either use ama itumie. Basi maisha ndio hivyo. Anasema pole kwa kuibiwa simu. Asante sana bro Serem, good morning to my brother, good to see you. Peter K unacheka shida bwana, unacheka shida. Haya, Isaka Maritim Baba Africa anasema today is 18th. Asante sana just also to my good morning Gerald. Leo show imechelewa, pole ni bwana, nilisaidiwa na uko customer Mkenya mwenzangu aliniwekea simu, kwa hivyo kidogo ikawa tumechelewa kwa sababu nilikuwa najaribu kutafuta mgeni wetu wa leo ambaye we lost contact, lakini anyway tutachapa kazi leo, patakuja siku nyingine. Emmanuel Serema sama ameamsha laptop kibiri Reds, Leonard Serem, Isaac Serem, Andre Moses Kaberenji, Garnet na waona amkeni. Ayuzarsha Kim kijana wangu anasema good morning wakurugenzi, good morning to you sir. David Kamau, good morning. Beking Junior, good morning to you. Elvis QW, good morning. Tatakol following from County 047. After the show we meet for a cup of coffee. Sina unanitafuta aje bana, labda tumie smoke signal, lakini naweza furahia sana kunywa hiyo kahawa. Moses Kamau Bishop anasema good morning GB, karibu Kanairo. Haya Bishop bwana tusaidie sinulia hata kama nikabambe. John W wa Karaoke, good morning Gerald Bitok, good morning to you. Steven Flames and Tomaga, good to see you from Thika. Show iko poa kabisa, mpote sana ndugu yangu, good to see you. Daisy Maritim Utawala tuko ndani, asante sana mheshimiwa Utawala. Daisy Maritim. Kevin Wanjala, you are now Nairobi official, umekaribishwa, hata munirumi Kipkemba Amon. Pole simu iko mahali poa. We come on, boys. Actually, Paula Sante Kolo Kipto, good morning. Oses Kamara Kwana Joseph Kuya, tuned from Langata. Amos Mbugwa, good morning. People of sober mind and independent thinkers, tuned from the city of Nottingham, UK. Good to see you, my brother. Amos Mbugwa. KJ Graphics, all there from diaspora, good morning. Joseph Kuya, pole sana bro, tutachanga. Munieke bana, munieke kakitu. That nwa kabambe. Subai Junior Amos, ansaba tuned from Bungoma. Joseph Kosgei, uliyekewa simu na Kanairo. Nikubaya. Wasend one says watching live from Lolgorian Mara West. Asante. Patrick Kigunda, good morning Bitok, pole kwa kupoteza simu yako. Asante sana ndugu yangu, munitumia toka kitu nunue ingine. Despacito dos Santos ulipatikana na Kanairo. Hatari bwana. Ross Otieno locked in ndani watching from Muhuru Bay, Migori County, good to see you. Ross Otieno. Thomas Kamarel answer watching from Narok. Director Tenny, mimi nilibiwa at gunpoint. Eri yako. Silvano Etale Ngoma samsalimio ya Momba Mulembe papa. Usaile hobulai. Asante Umalan. I don't know, asante Kibet Choge Alingama, asante Maro Mugesh logged in from Kithurai. 45 Lagat Ilari number imepatikana. Good morning to you na kuona. Paul Binasam, good morning watching from Merewet. Tatakol is trending, asante sana Mzee Moriango Kenyanja Vincent, good morning GB, and our great panel tuned in from Doha, niko ndani, asante sana tu Doha. Isaac BKN anasema niliwekewa simu 2012 hapo stage ya Naivasha ndani ya Embasava. Woi, pole sana, at least sijui uli deal nayo vipi, ulienda counseling ama ilikuwaje? Kimutai Mark anasema morning Gerald Bitok watching from Voi, asante. Evans Gomen, good morning. Hii wiki umetuangusha. Pole, si kwa sababu yangu. It's not of my wanting. It's not of my making, bwana. Sio mimi. Haya, Maro Mgasa na locked out Akidhurai 45. Asante. Hii Koreana Omukimbizi. Morning. Mimi nilipigwa ngeta ambassador mbele ya watu. Ilishindwa hata kupiga nduru. Juu napiga kwa nini? Na wanaofaa kunisaidia wanatazama tu. Hatari. Nairobi ogopa bwana. Daniel Don anasema watching live from Nairobi. Njenga Wakangete. Nilinyoroshwa simu na Morio wanne karibu na polisi wa traffic hapo Ronald Ngala na watu wanapita tu. Nairobi amnanga feelings. Watu wa Nairobi wanasema huruma ni estate. Haya, Kim Joel, good morning Jira Bitok watching from Limuru. Karoki wa Masi watching from Kayole. Gotea Gadhoni. Gadhoni hajapatikana kwa sababu nilipoteza simu tukapoteana mawasiliano. Kwa hivyo niko na jamaa wangu apita Amunga. Atatuambia alikuwa Naivasha wiki mzima. He'll tell us what they were discussing there and why. Kwa nini glue imekataa kushika Oka na ODM ama sijui ni Oka na NASA. Haya, Antonio Amino, good morning from Siaya County, good to see you. Daniel Ocheng, good morning Tetakola, asante sana. Mzee hapo sababu tunasema pole kwa kudonate simu bila kupanga. Ni kubaya, maisha ya Nairobi ni hatari. Anasema logged in from Kidhurai 45, hiyo ni Mugesha. Santa Shavin Koech, good morning sir, good morning to you mheshimiwa. Sagonki Black habari ya asubuhi, mambo ya shamba la mawe. Kabro ni hatari bwana. Kabro ogopa kabro. Haya, Robert Kidum anasema Gerald Bitoka Nairo mambo bad, mambo mbaya, Hotex Mall. Edi Korean Omukimbizi, tutachanga tu bro. Nairobi happens, pole sana. Munga alito continue. Mani Mtimtako anasema tuning in from Convent United Kingdom. Asante sana. Munga amepiga simu leo asubuhi kuuliza vipi. Anasema good to be part of this morning SIASA Wednesday edition. Yesterday I saw Oka, the principals, they look like uncles attending a dowry negotiation only to me to arrange another meeting. Ala, na kwanza wewe kwanza Munga alita continue, wewe ndio utanunua simu nyingine. Haya, sasa niko na simu tayari. Kuanzia saa 8 nitakuwa on. Munga alita continue natuma simu kutoka UK. Yego Mario anasema from Kapenguria, kisha uneta asante sana. Dismas Damakos, good morning Bitok watching from Mombasa 001. Anasema Kati Chos anasema yule amechukua simu yako is the real asshole. Ni hatari bwana. Jeblatin Kogo, good morning Tetako, good morning to you Jeblatin Kogo, good to see you. Naona umejibatiza leo kidogo, but I'm happy to see you. Maina Wanjoki uliza yule askari wa traffic yenyewe kama karawa naibiwa mimi ni nani? Who is me? Haya, Joseph Kirita anasema Joseph nitumie namba yako nikutumia ka kitu. Asante sana Joseph. Asante sana. Anaona simu karibu inajaa bei. Haya, Kimutai anasema yamune pole Bitoki ni Kanairo. Asante Kosgei Kipngetich Gilbert, good morning watching live from Ngiro Nakuru. Maina Wanjoki Kanairo Huruma ni 46 boss. Huruma ni estate. Mtalala kadha sema huruma mambo yote. Sam Sirma, tumejaja mambo ya Friday BBI. Mnachambulia vizuri. Asante sana Kipkemara hapo tu. Good morning Bitoka kazi power falling from Concord, North Carolina. Asante sana tu diaspora. Kwanza wa diaspora ndio nafahamu nichangie simu. Nikikosa simu by jioni mtajua diaspora ni Kenya. John Kituru anasema Qatar ndani. Vincent Kipchumba, good morning Tetakol, pole sana. Asante sana. Zazulu natuma pole, tuma na kitu kidogo alafu tuweze kuokoa Nairobi. Steve Mfalme anasema ogopa Kanairo. Asante. Amunga.
Yes.
Ushaibiwa simu?
Mimi niliibiwa simu nilipokuja Nairobi. That was nilitoka Kisumu Boys nikashuka hapo Machakos.
Yaani kutoka Kisumu Boys ulikuwa na simu?
Nilikuwa na simu. No, sio kama mwanafunzi, kwa mwalimu.
Kwa dynasty.
Kwa mwalimu. Kwa nimekuja hapa TSC kutafuta mambo fulani. Kufika tu hapa nikapanda gari hivi tu nikakaa pale nyuma, kiti ya nyuma. Na nikachukia simu imeenda. I tried to shout, I tried to jump out through the window to follow the young man. Nikagundua simu imeenda. Na ndio ilikuwa na M-Pesa kangu ndani. The only little money I had. It was a terrible experience.
Ulisikia
na mimi nilishuka. Actually I just told the conductor, nikashuka nikasimama tu kwa barabara for almost 3 minutes. Nikifikiria what to do next. And that's when I discovered that maybe I can go and get another new SIM card because I had money on that phone. So nikaenda nikatafuta SIM card hapo tu karibu hapo KU stage. That's how I managed. That's how I was welcomed. It's a normal experience in Nairobi.
Ni kawaida.
Ni kawaida.
Ulitafuta mpaka wapi? Mimi niliona ikienda lakini nilitafuta bana.
Niliona kijana. In fact I was just niliweka tu kwa masikio na nikapata simu ndio hiyo inaenda. So at first I thought it is somebody who's just playing a joke with me. Maybe a friend of mine knows me. Then I have to look. In a split second I discovered it's a thief. And ndio huyo anaenda. So I shouted. The people in the bus, they were seated behind me, were like, oh, pole, hiyo imeenda. Wachana nayo. Nikalia kwa Kiluya bwana, bandu bano basiru miyingwa kitu cha Nairobi chino mmelaniwa nyinyi watu wa Nairobi.
Lakini mpaka sasa unaona wako hawajalaniwa.
Wanaendelea kuiba.
So laana yako ikufika mahali.
Dua la kuku wanasema isipati mwewe.
Ipati mwewe. Sasa nafaa tutengeneze kitu inaitwa self-help group. Ya watu wenye wameibiwa simu Nairobi.
It's a shocker but it's an experience that you must prepare for.
Ai maza, lakini ni kubaya bana. Ni mbaya. Unajua juzi nilikuwa napiga story. Na jamaa alikuwa ananiambia alipoteza gari.
Yeah, people lose cars.
Alichukua gari mpya pale Mombasa, akafika kupiga pale Mtito. Jioni tu, saa moja. Jamaa akasema acha aingie kwa hizo hoteli za Mtito, apige kawa kidogo na umeka kitu, maybe kasamosa hivi nini, alafu apige safari ya Nairobi.
Na gari mpya.
Kutoka nje hakuna, alitafuta mpaka kwa mfuko. Yaani anatafuta gari.
It's a very bad experience.
So yetu ya simu kumbe si mbaya sana.
Yeah, imagine uibiwe gari, uibiwe vitu mingi, uibiwa hapa Nairobi. Bibi uibiwa Nairobi. Acha gari. Bibi anaibiwa. Bibi anaenda. Unaona tu bibi ameenda hivi. Na mmetoka naye mashambani, mmefika hapa Nairobi. Bibi anakuacha hapa Nairobi kwa matatu. Yeah.
Kwa traffic.
So simu ni kitu kidogo, hata usijali bwana.
Wajawana hivi mpaka bibi.
Yes.
Anyway, experience yako ya kuibiwa simu Nairobi ilikuwa vipi? Ya kuibiwa simu ilikuwa aje? Tafadhali tusaidiane bwana, kwa sababu anyway, of God is many of Kanairo is wonders. Haya, tuingia kwenye kazi ya leo. Friday tunakuwa na BBI ruling. We'll have a BBI ruling on Friday on an open court. Interestingly, we are going to have it on an open court. So it means anybody who has an issue with the ruling can actually apply a stay or can raise an objection as the proceeding is going on. And it could be very interesting. Unatafuta gari mbaya kwa mfuko ndugu yangu Korean. Unatafuta gari mbaya kwa mfuko bana. Haya, Rebecca Amunga naona madam amefika this morning GB. I've joined late but I'm glad to be here. Glad my husband made it. Amefika. Naweza bwana Nairobi at least kubaya unaibiwa mpaka bibi. He's lucky. Bado hujaibiwa. Haya. So we have a BBI ruling on Friday. Appeal ruling on Friday on an open court at the Supreme Court garden. We also, what are we as you explained, also the political alignments that have been happening. You've been away for a whole week. Uliniambia ulikuwa Naivasha.
Yes.
Ukifanya negotiation. Yeah. We also saw these guys were having we saw these other guys were having a meeting in Nakuru and they made a declaration that is ODM, Odili, ODM and Jubilee. They are saying that they're ready to ratify their coalition agreement that is Jubilee and ODM. Oka. Pia niliona pale you guys were smiling and so it would be good to know what you guys discussed there and what we should expect, especially now that we are seeing clearly then NASA might not be coming back if yesterday's activities is anything to go by. But interestingly, you guys were a few minutes apart from each other. Naivasha and Nakuru. Ilikuwa tu ile tukisikizana tunakimbia haraka.
Yeah, we're in the same county. And you notice that immediately after our 2 meetings, our leaders have been summoned to the big house. They are already this morning in Mombasa. Again, a lot of discussions are going on. What we want to know, we need to know as Kenyans is that no one person in this country can win the coming election on his or her own. You will have to unite with other people. Kenya, whether we like it or not, is a tribal country. We have our tribal structures that are left by the colonialists. We have what we used to call those of you who are in the history class, you must have heard of something called collaborators and resistors. These things were things that they were like demons that were left in our DNA. That we think in that area we are either collaborators or we are resistors. The Nandis were the resistance movement in Kenya. The Luyas, like me in the Wanga Kingdom, we were collaborators. So that's the kind of spirit that lives in our lives as a country, whereby we are actually two. There'll just be two horses. That I agree. There'll be two horses. One of the horse may be a resistor. It may resist some of the things. It may come up with things like hustler and what wheelbarrows. It will be a resisting kind of group. There'll be another group called the collaborators. They will come together. And they'll agree on a few things. And I think that's the group you are seeing in Naivasha yesterday. A team of people who have similar ideas. They'll have to propose one of them to be the flag bearer. And we can assure Kenyans that the talks are going on. Because the president made it very clear. He wants to leave behind a good legacy, a good person to continue with what he has been doing. So I think the search for that person is on.
So who is searching? You are searching yourselves, or the president is searching for you?
No, it's us searching, but of course in consultation with the president.
Okay.
Surely the president must be involved because he's not just anybody. He has only one vote. But
This is NASA speaking.
no, I'm not talking about NASA. I'm speaking about.
I mean the NASA of 2017.
Yes.
You know, you see, the president is not just
I've
a
told you
person.
it's just about collaborators and resistors. So we are ready. We are talking. Right now as we speak, the team leaders are now in Mombasa. Now, just saying something about what we saw in Nakuru. That's part of it.
First of all, even before you go to Nakuru,
Yes.
you guys were in Naivasha. What were you discussing, and what were the ratifications that you came up with?
Yes, in Naivasha, it was working on a memoranda, on structures, on MOUs, on things that
MOUs with who now?
we are a big team. You must have seen Gideon Moy. You
But
may
Gideon
have
Moy
seen-
said he's in
No,
Jubilee.
he didn't say anything. He's part of us. He was there.
Okay.
That's more important. You may have seen Kanini Kega. I think you know where he normally belongs. You may have seen on Sakaja, Honorable Sakaja. Most likely, you know, he was among the founders of TNA and among the founders of Jubilee.
Yeah.
So you must have seen Musalia Mudavadi. You may have seen Kalonzo Musyoka, Weta, and very many other leaders who are seated there. What these people are doing there, they can't be children. Hawa si watoto wadogo. They know what they are doing.
That means no children.
So yeah, this is a serious game. It happened during the first, when we got independence. People even went to Lancaster House. They sat there to form government. That is how governments are formed.
Okay.
Governments are not formed in the marketplaces. Governments are not formed on the streets. A government is formed by men and women of integrity sitting together and agreeing on a way forward. So this is what OCA is all about. It's about sitting together and agreeing. Now, those fellows on Twitter, watu wa bloggers wa tangatanga, mutaacha hiyo matusi.
Kwani walisema nini?
We are that OCA is just sitting to plan for the next meeting. Yani they're having a meeting today to plan for another meeting tomorrow. No. People and even in marriage, we start with the negotiation. We call it dowry negotiations. Then after that is when you see the big wedding and somebody gets married and they go for honeymoon and you see children. So what OCA is now doing is what we call dowry negotiation. Arusi yenyewe bado vijana, mungoje arusi bado
safari. Lakini sasa shida ni zile sasa, unajua sasa mnakutana hatujui nani anaoa nani. Yani mnakutana wote, mandume wote, hata hujui.
Hapo nani?
Ajulikane nani ndiye anaoa nani anaolewa.
Sakaja made clear.
Na msemangi
Cleophas Malala, when he was addressing Senator Malala, said the fifth president of Kenya was among those people you saw there. Obviously also there must be a deputy there.
Ni kama ile Yesu alisema the person who is going to betray me is among you.
Is among you. So the person who
ni nini mnaogopa kusema ni nani?
Of course, that is part of strategy. You don't just expose your roots. Even when you want to marry, you don't just, like when I was in KU and I was dating my wife in the university, I didn't want to expose myself.
When you were dating at night?
Yeah.
No,
I was in the CU. So I was doing it quietly in the Christian Union. Because everybody else, mafisi wale wamejaa huko, watu wa kutoka wa Uluyani, watu wa klasi yake, her classmates, they also wanted her. They were interested. So you don't expose your roots. And that's what OCA is doing. OCA is very busy making sure that they are covering their roots and their footsteps as they move. Because if they expose the person this early, you can imagine the attack that person is going to start getting. When is this early? Let us wait. PNU was formed 3 months to the election. And they named Mwai Kibaki as their flag bearer. 3 months. But safari bado. There's a lot of time.
Lakini sasa nikuulize.
Yes.
Whatever the case.
Yes, sir.
You're talking about PNU. PNU, we knew Kibaki was a presidential candidate. It was not a pata potel like what you guys are doing at OCA. Is it a raffle ticket?
No, it's not a raffle ticket. These people are very organized.
Okay.
If you notice very clearly, they already seem to know who is their flag bearer. It's just that they don't want to expose. I think it's not that they don't know. I've said these are very experienced people in politics. Musalia Mudavadi has been here for some time now. Kalonzo Musyoka has been a vice president. He has been here for some time. We are not talking about people who are children. These are people who know what they are doing. The only issue here is they do not want, as I've said it, there comes a time you don't expose your weapons early. Utoi majembe yako mapema. Ngoja, ficha majembe, wakati itafika. There is time for everything the Bible says. It's time for harvesting, time for weeding, time for reaping. This is the time to prepare the land. We are preparing. We shall name the flag bearer. And luckily, the court, if you notice from all the statements yesterday, everybody is also waiting for the BBI ruling tomorrow. Kenyans, we must know that the BBI has impact on coalition makings in this country. It was a very important thing. The courts have derailed it. Because when you are a big group, the way we saw in Oka, BBI would have worked properly for such a group. So because BBI ruling is not yet, I think it's not very good to start revealing what, who, before we hear the BBI ruling on Friday.
All right. So let's go to Nakuru. The declaration that was made in Nakuru. So before you leave Naivasha, so you said you're going to field your own presidential candidate. So in short, you guys are not going to get into any other pre-election coalition.
I think Oka is already set. Oka is a complete outfit. Oka is a unit that is already ready. They will field a presidential candidate. But you never know. Jubilee may also join Oka. Raila may also join Oka, you know. So when we talk about Oka will field a presidential candidate, don't ask me who, because you never know. Jubilee may also be part of Oka. And the person I'm not very sure can be part of Oka is called Tanga Tanga. But at least these other people, they are very free to join and they will be part of Oka.
So let me ask you, Oka, as we know right now, is Gideon Moi.
Yes.
Musalia Mudavadi.
Yes.
Kalonzo Musyoka.
Yeah.
Those are three guys, right?
Yeah.
And Wetangula.
You have forgotten Musalia. Have you mentioned Musalia?
I mentioned Musalia.
Start again.
Okay, let's start.
Yes.
From the top, Musalia Mudavadi.
Yes, you're talking.
Kalonzo Musyoka. Yes. Gideon Moi. And Moses Wetangula.
Yes.
Moses Masika Wetangula.
Yes.
Now, in an event that Raila Odinga joins up with Oka, who will be the candidate? Because you guys have already declared that as Oka as it is going to field his own presidential candidate. In an event that Raila Odinga comes into the outfit, who will be the running? Who will be the flag bearer?
Obviously, the flag bearer will be one of the Oka principles. If Raila will be there, he will be part of the principles, one of them. But you see, they'll have to be a very, very, very founded, very nice agreements on what will happen. For example, what has killed NASA is because they were a bit sketchy. NASA, the pre-election agreement between the NASA officials was sketchy, was not well founded. But what is happening, what you saw in Naivasha, is coming up with those foundations, those structures that will guide them after 2022. And another thing that was happening in NASA, NASA assumed that they will form government. You know, we don't need to assume anything. I think Oka principles currently are not leaving anything to chance. What if we don't form government? What follows? So I think those are some of the questions. And obviously, the team will have to look at the winning strategy. I have said this before. You have had the Hustler Nation. Every time they bring up the story, they say, bring it on, bring Raila on. They want Raila. To them, the people of Hustler Nation have done their calculations. They know.
They have seen that's only what they can do.
If Raila comes, they win early in the morning. That one they know. And any political scientist, I did political science. You look at Raila running alone against Ruto, it will be a very bad showdown. Ruto will win. So that is why Oka principles must decide on a person worthy to compete William Samoei Ruto.
Who is that person?
We will not say it on this air, not yet.
You guys are behaving like witches. You don't want to say anything. Anyway, so moving on quickly to Nakuru. We saw Raila Odinga also had his own conference in Nakuru, and the people in attendance were President Uhuru Kenyatta's allies. But before you go there, let's not even look at the numbers again.
Presidential allies.
All right, before you even go there.
Yes.
Okay. What are the implications of Raila's? Why did you guys have to have two different meetings, both in the same county? Right. And what are the implications of the declaration by ODM? Because they also say that they're going to field a candidate at Jubilee and ODM coalition.
Noticed, I think what Kenyans need to know is that the pace setter in this country for some time now has been Musalia Mudavadi. When Musalia Mudavadi talks about the economy, you discover all other persons now talking about the economy. Now, Musalia is trying to build a coalition. He did it. NASA was founded by Musalia, for those who may not be aware. Now, once they have discovered that Musalia is working on a coalition, you will discover that others also now want to start talking about a coalition. When he decided that we meet in Nakuru County, that is Naivasha, to try and steal the thunder out of what was happening in Naivasha. That's politics. We call it politics. ODM taking their meeting to Nakuru was just part of politics. A few weeks ago, Musalia Mudavadi was in Nakuru with Governor Lee Kinyanjui, and they had a very good meeting. They went around the city of Nakuru. So what I'm seeing here is copy pasting, sort of copycats,
So ODM is copying.
ODM is a known person, a known party that likes copying others. This is just trying to steal thunder, trying to copy, trying to be relevant, trying to show that, they are also still able, they are there. I don't think what happened in Nakuru yesterday, looking at it, there was no urgency for it to happen yesterday. There was no urgency for Raila to go around the city of Nakuru yesterday. And when you read whatever they declared, they called it, they had a name they gave it. I don't know, they called it a unity manifesto, something like that.
Nasema one Kenya, uniting Kenya.
Uniting Kenya. So look at it. It's the same thing we are doing. OKA, one Kenya. So you go to Nakuru again and you say unity in Kenya, something manifesto.
Yeah.
You are doing the same thing. ODM lack ideas. They lack the new ideas. And that's why Ruto has been ravaging and running all over ODM and all over whatever. Because ODM thinkers, they don't think very far.
Okay.
They need people like Musalia Mudavadi to think for them. So unfortunately for them, Musalia is out. He's now doing his work with Oka. So they are like what Kwame Nkrumah said, ODM is like a man late for a train to catch a train. And the train has taken off. And so they're trying to run after the train. That's how ODM looks like. Trying to copy the economy policy from Musalia and from the hustlers. Trying to copy the meetings that are coming up and the coalitions. They are late for the train.
Okay, so any implications on unity, the declaration that was made in Nakuru?
Yes, of course.
What are the implications?
One, I want to tell Kenyans. There was a lady called Anne Waiguru. She's the governor of Kirinyaga. Her Excellency Anne Waiguru went on air on a media like this one and said, you can never buy a Kikuyu. You can only rent a Kikuyu. She made it very clear.
Okay.
And she said, Mount Kenya is, you can't buy us.
So you guys want to rent now?
Now, what we saw in Nakuru yesterday was the renting process.
Okay.
Some kind of trying to rent.
New tenants.
Car hire kind of business was going on in Nakuru, whereby we saw Anne Waiguru stand there and say, you see, we only know one person who can do this. Yeah, the renting process was now going on. Anne Waiguru, we respect her. She's a person we have seen her work with the hustlers. She fell out. We saw her meeting Musalia. Again, we saw her. Now, yesterday, we saw her with ODM. What we are saying is this, Anne, you told us you can only be rented. So just tell us who is renting you now. Or whenever we see you with somebody, can we agree that you have been rented? In Nakuru yesterday, we cannot really read anything much from what happened there. We saw Commander. We saw Peter Kenneth. We are talking about people who could not muster votes and win any seat in the last election. In fact, on Twitter yesterday, Peter Kenneth was trending. And why Peter Kenneth was trending is because the questions that people were asking is, what can Peter Kenneth do for Raila in Mount Kenya? There are better people that can take Raila in Mount Kenya, but not Peter Kenneth. We saw somebody like Mzee Minor Commander. Minor Commander, we know what happened here in Nairobi during the last election. We saw Jaguar dethrone him from his seat here in Starehe. So Minor Commander cannot be a person that can be fronted by Raila as his campaign person. I wish we had seen the youngsters, the people. We need the young people in Mount Kenya. the Kanini Kegas. And that is why we are saying, if Raila was to face Ruto in Mount Kenya, the two of them, Ruto wins in the morning. And that's what is worrying us. Some of us who may not want to see the Ruto presidency, we will not want a Raila trying to come up and telling us that he can face Mount Kenya. He can't. Raila needs to prove to us that indeed he can face Mount Kenya strongly.
Alisema amejua kukwea mlima. Amejifunza kukwea mlima.
You cannot kwea mlima with old folks like Maina Commander. You need young people. The Dinyoros, the Mushobas. These are the people you need. We are not seeing him, bringing them. We are seeing people like SK Macharia. No, surely SK Macharia is a good man, but his time in politics, we can't really say he has ideas that can bring the youth. The biggest voting bloc in Mount Kenya today are the youth. The youth are the ones who I'm seeing them moving around the hustler nation because they feel, they identify with that narrative of the hustler. The youth. If Raila needs to face the mountain, he needs to come up with a program, with a policy that addresses the youth in Mount Kenya. And he has failed. When you see him with Maina Commander, Maina Commander cannot even talk for 10 minutes. He can't come on a show like this one and hold a show with you for even 1 hour. So when you want to walk around with such people,
tafuta vijana kama Amunga.
Tafuta mtu kama Amunga. That's why Musalia Mudavadi is moving around with people like Amunga, people like Godfrey Kanoti, people like Nathaniel Mongare, youthful people, Simon Gakuri, people that can move around, can talk. We are seeing people like Kanini Kega now coming into Musalia Mudavadi's camp. We are seeing young people, and that is what we want. Kenya of today is of young people. I like Atwoli for one thing. Atwoli always tells me whenever I visit him that he likes hanging around with young people, young people. Because when you are with young people, you get young ideas. In fact, you remain relevant and you live longer. If you surround yourself with old people, SK Macharias, Maina Commanders, David Murades, my friend, you become too old. Your thinking becomes retarded and you become an octogenarian. We are advising ODM, stop copy-pasting, stop copying Musalia, stop copying Ruto. Come up now with original ideas. What does ODM want in Mount Kenya? Don't tell us about handshake. You tell people about handshake. What is that? If you have a narrative for Mount Kenya, bring a narrative that makes sense. The hustler narrative may be selling in Mount Kenya. We need a counter narrative to the hustler narrative. Handshake is not a narrative that you can push in Mount Kenya and succeed. Because people of Mount Kenya, when they look at handshake, they see these curfews that have denied them their businesses. People of Mount Kenya, when they see handshake, they see their businesses that have gone down. People of Mount Kenya, when they see handshake, they think of their coffee and their tea industry that have collapsed. Don't tell people about handshake in Mount Kenya. Tell them a narrative that can sell. And that's what I saw Lin Jiru doing yesterday in Nakuru. Lin Jiru refused to address the problems of Nakuru before Baba. So Nakuru meeting was not a meeting. That's why Kenyans are bashing us as politicians. They say we are talking about more about us than about what we are
and your power
for them.
Okay, so let me ask you. So what is the strategy for climbing the mountain by Mudavadi?
Oh, you've got taken me back to Mudavadi.
Because now you've discredited Raila's entry into the mountain. So I would wonder.
If there is a person who can face Samuel William Ruto and win, is Musalia Mudavadi.
Okay.
The reason being, Musalia Mudavadi is a sell, can be sold. He's a person who can sell. You can sell Musalia Mudavadi anywhere in this country without a problem. I have been with Musalia Mudavadi in places like Nyeri, Nyandarua, Nakuru. The Kikuyus will say, and the Kikuyus are going to be the kingmakers of this time. They are saying, Masharia. They call Mudavadi Masharia. Anakuja kutafuta Masharia. Masharia.
Washaria.
Washaria, Kosharia. Musalia Mudavadi comes out very soberly. The Kikuyus want a person whom they feel they can trust. They can have around.
What makes you think they cannot trust?
A safe pair of hands.
Okay.
The narrative of kuumira tutoke mbio wote walitoa watu even those who were in hospital to come and vote for Uhuru Kenyatta was because they were told this man from the lake is coming to finish us. So you to change that narrative becomes very difficult. But to sell Musalia Mudavadi is easier. Now Musalia has also proven himself in a few things. You can abuse him, you can call him all names you want, you will never see him answer back. Recently somebody called him that he runs a kiosk for a party.
Atwoli. Don't say somebody. Atwoli.
Oh, it's Atwoli.
You are fearing to say it's Atwoli.
No, don't mention the name of Atwoli, just careless. It was somebody who said those words.
It was Francis Atwoli.
When he said those words, Musalia is yet to say anything. If it was anybody else, you'll have heard. If it was Muisa Kitui, you'll say Muisa saying, I've always feared that there's nothing between your ears. You know, he'll throw insults towards Atwoli. Musalia doesn't insult. And somehow, let me tell you, the Kibaki of 2007, 2007, that is how Musalia comes out. An economist, a person who is safe, doesn't talk much, it looks very sober, very organized. That's how Musalia comes out in Mount Kenya. That is his strategy, by the way. The Kibaki moment, a Kibaki moment is a Kibaki moment that can be brought by Musalia Mudavadi. And maybe I can add this. Musalia is talking about an economic policy. That policy is, he's saying, reduce corruption, reduce their government, increase money in the pocket of Kenyans. Pesa mfukoni now is his new crying call. Pesa mfukoni. So as Kenyans, as people in Central, they are now looking at a person who can work on the economy. Economy. That is the discussion now. Musalia is a cell in Mount Kenya. Yeah.
Okay. So you mentioned that Raila Odinga, if he wants to climb the mountain, then he needs to have young people by his side, all these guys, you mentioned them.
Yes.
So who does Musalia Mudavadi have in Central Kenya that's going to help him to climb the Mulima?
Thank you very much.
Or it is Amunga who is going to
we have
leave Jambago to go and
several
climb the
young
mountain?
Kikuyus who are gravitating around Musalia.
Like who?
Now we have Simon Gakuri. Even we, as I speak, I know NC members are listening to me. Simon Gikuru may just become our Secretary General, because when we were in Nyeri, NC party, you know, our Secretary General was Barack Muluka. And Barack Muluka ditched us and left for a wheelbarrow. But when we were in Nyeri, we were hosted by a young governor in Nyeri called Mutahi Kahiga. We used to be with him in NAT headquarters. Mutahi Kahiga told Musalia, give us somebody from Mount Kenya, a young person whom we can gravitate around. And Musalia stood up and said, the next Secretary General of ANC is coming from Central. And there's a young person called Simon Gakuri. Simon has proven himself. He was the chairman of Jubilee in Murang'a. So he is now one of us in ANC. And he's ever around Musalia Mudavadi, advocating the policies of Musalia Mudavadi. That's just one. We have people even right now who are in politics, who are gravitating around Musalia. I'm talking about Kanini Kega. I'm talking about people who are in the civil service, some of the CSs.
But I thought Kanini Kega was in Nakuru.
No, Kanini Kega Kanini Kega was in Naivasha.
Okay.
Kanini Kega was in Naivasha. Then we are talking about very energetic and young people who worked with Kibaki, who are now really talking about Musalia Mudavadi. The names, I wish I'd come when I'd prepared, but those who are listening to me, please, you can send me on WhatsApp the names of our people, from young people from Central Province who are writing our manifestos and doing a lot of things and helping us to get inroads.
So you don't know the names yet?
I know them. Come on. It's just that you ambushed me on this show.
Because you mentioned the ones that Raila should have.
No, Raila is moving around with those old fellows. Minor commander, surely minor commander, even if he came near me today, I'll have to go away very quickly, because minor commander cannot help me with anything right now. Unless some money, maybe can give me some pocket money. But in terms of ideas, he cannot give me ideas. So Musalia is getting young people. Then, if you're not aware, there are young governors who are gravitating around Musalia. Kimemia. These are people who worked with Musalia when he was the minister of local government in Kibaki's government.
Kimemia is a young guy.
Kimemia, to you, he's an old man. You cannot compare him with SK Macharia or with the other guys.
How old is Kimemia?
he's in his 60s. That's young.
Very young. Okay.
That's a very young man. We are talking about people.
Hey, no wonder we are always being told we are the leaders of tomorrow.
Yes.
If 60 is young, then I've not been born.
Yes. We are talking about people like Sakaja. Sakaja, you know him.
Sakaja, I know him. Yeah, so quite a very
these are
smart
young
gentleman.
people.
Okay.
These are people who can help us in these regions. We are talking about, I wouldn't want to mention Anne Waiguru. I was going to mention Anne, but let me not mention her. Talk about Mutahi Kahiga, the governor for Nyeri right now. He's in his first term. The governor for Nyeri. These are people who have invited us. I may not mention Lee Kinyanjui because you'll tell me he was also in Nakuru yesterday. But I know the talks that are going on, which I wouldn't want to talk in the show right now. Yeah.
State secrets. Now, ODM and Jubilee have formed a pact. Jubilee is President Uhuru Kenyatta's party. And there has been a speculation, or there has been a conversation that the president is supporting or propping Raila Odinga to run for the presidency ticket. And you've said also the president is planning you, a team. So where is the president between ODM and Oka?
If you asked me, I will even, if I was to tell you, the president is very far away from some of these statements that we keep making that he may be supporting Raila or somebody like that. Because one, to me, the way you look at even the way the Mount Kenya, the elections of campaign for ODM is being carried out, I don't see the president's hand in it. For example, I'm yet to see the president hold the hand of Raila and take him to Mount Kenya. Or instead we see Raila with the people I've just mentioned, the minor commanders, the Peter Kenneths, whom we don't really see as serious people who can galvanize Central Province or Mount Kenya for Raila. I tend to think personally, and many people who are watching these things very closely, why would the president be calling Raila and the Oka leaders to State House to discuss? Unless there is something more to it. That something more to it maybe is that the president has other plans. My feel is that the president should not be involving himself in the succession.
Again. But I thought you said he's not just a president, he's planning succession. Or when it comes to ODM, you don't want him to get involved. Well, he's okay when he's getting involved with NASA, with Oka.
The president has one vote, but he has influence. Influence is very important.
But you said he should not get involved. But you just told us a few minutes ago that the president is planning succession in Oka.
Picks a person, that person is seen as a project of the president. Once you are identified as a project, you have been set up for failure.
So what if he
I
picks
wouldn't want him to say, I am supporting Musalia Mudavadi. Because we will carry the burden of his failures in the last few years. We wouldn't want, and I don't know if ODM are out really to get an endorsement, a public endorsement, that the president is supporting them. What I mean is that the president should play the way Kibaki did. Kibaki did a lot of things behind the scenes. Actually, Kibaki wanted Mudavadi. Behind the scenes. But the hustler and not mwili. People confused him somewhere. But I want to believe, as times go by, President Uhuru Kenyatta can do a lot of things behind the scenes. Like what he's doing, calling them in Mombasa, all this. To me, that is okay. Let him involve all of them. Let him call them the way he's doing, but behind the scenes. The day the president will do what Moi did, akakuja akasimama mimi nasema huyu kijana anaweza. That's the day he set Uhuru Kenyatta for failure.
Okay.
Let the president do that.
So in an event that the president comes out, endorsed behind the scenes, the president declares that he thinks, because it has been said, it has been widely rumored that he's rooting for Raila Odinga. But anyway, so in any case, behind the scenes conversations, he decides that Raila Odinga is the one who's going to carry the flag. What will you do if you find yourself Raila Odinga being a flag bearer? What will you do?
I have listened. Recently Musalia Mudavadi was in a funeral, and he said media has been set up. You know what? Raila got a lot of these structures in the media. He has a lot of people in media, editors, and he has some propaganda machinery that is normally very good in propaganda. It is what has always made him to fail, because too much hype at the expense of the real thing. when we were in Mombasa for the first meeting, when the president met all these leaders, immediately after the Mombasa meeting, we saw bloggers, including Dennis Itumbi, coming up and saying that they were the Oka leaders were told they must support Raila Odinga.
Okay. But also Malala said that.
Malala has not said that. When Musalia said,
do you follow news? You said that last week.
I listen. Malala was not in that meeting.
Should I get you the video?
You can get me the video.
Okay.
Malala was not in that meeting. Malala may also just be reading newspapers. The person who was in that meeting was Musalia. Na akasema hataki vitina. Nobody said anybody forced anybody to support anybody in that meeting. They are discussing. Kansas then, the State House spokesperson, she put it very clearly. They talked about COVID-19. They talked about the economy.
They are doctors. These people are doctors.
That's what they talked
COVID-19.
about.
Oh, okay.
So if it in ingine yote hii ni mambo ya the Ruto team propagandas, so that they want to make it look like it's them versus Raila. Because Ruto versus Raila, Ruto wins. Okay. I don't know how many times I'll say this. Ruto versus Raila, even Kakamega people will vote for Ruto. But the moment Raila is removed from the equation and another third force, another party is brought in, Ruto has a big problem. He can't win. So Ruto propaganda machine once keeps on daring Raila, come on, bring it on. You are the one we want to face, because they have done their research. Dennis Itumbi has done his research. He's being told it is Raila. We will win if it's that man. Mudavadi has put it clear. They are still consulting. They are still coming up with a person. He will name the person. And I want to tell you, and I want to say on this show, that person will not be Raila Odinga.
Okay. It will not be Raila Odinga.
It will not be.
If it happens to be Raila Odinga, what will you do, Amunga?
We will go as a third force, because we know William Ruto will obviously be on the ballot. If Raila will be the one, we will disagree with the president. If he'll try to force Kenyans on him. You cannot force people to support Raila Odinga. Kenya is a tribal structure. The Kikuyu nation has rejected Raila Odinga. They say it clearly. The Kalenjin nation that
he was with Kikuyus yesterday.
No. The Kalenjin nation that supported Raila Odinga in 2007 has rejected Raila Odinga. The Luya nation, which I belong, has rejected Raila Odinga. The Coastarians, we have seen Kina Amason Kingi. They are refusing that man. So the president alone cannot force one person on us. He will not be able. So we will not agree. We will obviously, as Oka, present our person. And that person will not be Raila Odinga.
Okay. All right. And it will not be Amunga.
Of course.
It might be Amunga. All right. Anyway, that is a coalition talks. Anyway, from a point of observation and analysis, how do you think the coalitions are going to take shape?
Yes.
That's 2022.
Yeah. I wanted to say this. I'm seeing three horses. Okay. I see a coalition. Raila will obviously have to make a coalition. Nobody's going it alone.
It already has a coalition with Jubilee.
No, it's not.
Oh, they have Odili.
They are still discussing. I don't think there's a coalition between him and Jubilee yet.
Okay.
They are still discussing. We saw Tuju and we saw Murathe yesterday. We saw them saying that they have now been given mandate to go ahead with talks with Jubilee to form a coalition. I mean, with the ODM. So they are yet to start the talks properly. As for Oka, the talks are already on. The coalition is already on. Okay. I believe very soon they'll have something on the table. Now, for the Hustler Nation, there is no way the Hustlers will tell us they'll go alone. The Hustlers will have to get somebody.
So who do you think they're going to coalesce with?
We are starting to see them coalesce with the coast people. Amason Kingi, the way he's behaving, he may go the UDA way. UDA may have to join with another party. I have a feeling that party is going to be the one from the coast. Then they're also going to coalesce around some parties like the one Moses Kuria is doing in Central. Chama cha nini?
Chama cha kazi.
Chama cha kazi.
Yeah.
So
we are getting their certificate.
They are getting their certificate today.
Yes.
These are the things that UDA is going to say, that we are also joining up with like-minded parties like PD. There was what? This one that won...
TSP.
Yeah,
for
TSP.
Kiunjuri. Okay.
Yeah, Kiunjuri. So I think that is where the whole issue is going to come from. There will be coalitions between the Hustler Nation, or let me say UDA, will have to come and coalesce around a party like the one from Coast of Kingi, and they also go for parties in Central Province. Musalia Mudavadi is way ahead of them. He already has brought in Weta. He has brought in Kalonzo. And he may bring in more, Gideon Moi. He may bring in more other players. I personally think Jubilee Kieleweke may join Oka as a coalition. So that's where the coalitions are now going to be. There'll be 3 major ones. And there'll be 3 because Raila will want to go it alone. If he goes it alone, he'll also look for some small parties in Central Province. I have a big feeling people like Liki Nyanjui may form some political parties. They may go for those ones.
They leave Jubilee.
They leave Jubilee. Okay. They'll form a party. It will not be the Jubilee that we know today. There'll be other smaller parties within Jubilee that may come up to support Raila Odinga. So there'll be 3 major coalitions in going forward. And we can be sure that if they come, the 3 of them, then be set for a runoff. Okay. It will be no outright winner in the first round.
So another question is, it has been widely said or rumored that Musalia Mudavadi and William Ruto could be coining up something behind the scenes. Is there a possibility that Musalia Mudavadi and William Ruto could work together?
Yes. Have you seen how I've smiled very happy? Let me say.
Well, it's your former home.
It will happen, or it can happen, if especially William Ruto will cede and give Musalia Mudavadi the seat of the presidency, the top seat. And it can happen. And I want to give the scenario to our listeners. Musalia Mudavadi has no problem with William Ruto. Okay. I don't think William Ruto can even actually say anything bad about Musalia Mudavadi, apart from how he attacked him with the bottoms up, which I tend to think that was Moses Kuria attacking him. But otherwise, Musalia Mudavadi attended the wedding of John Ruto. We saw him. And William Ruto was very clean kwa matanga ya Mama Anna. He came and he prayed for us. I remember him at our Mululu home here in Nairobi, our headquarters, our state house here in Karen.
Mululu Karen.
Mululu Karen. And he came and he prayed for us. I remember him praying for us and, casting demons out of some of us. But, at the end of the day, we have no problem with Ruto. Okay. But if he supports Musalia Mudavadi. And if that was to happen, the win is in the morning, early in the morning.
What if Musalia
Mudavadi becomes the president? Now, the only thing that may stop, and what we as people who support Musalia are seeing, these issues that shenanigans revolving around William Ruto, we have a feeling that William Ruto may reach a place and say, it's not a must that I be the president. Si lazima. Why should my people like Kina Gashagwa and others all be arrested because of me, suffer because of me? My Turkish friends are deported, businesses are being closed, KRA or on our neck. ICC may also come calling. People who support the Hustler Nation must also think it this way. William Ruto can reach a place and say, it's not a must. I want to name somebody who can carry the flag for us.
So what if Musalia Mudavadi supports William Ruto?
It's very unlikely for 2 things. Okay. The party of Musalia Mudavadi, which is ANC, cannot accept because they have given him the flag bearer mandate. ANC as a party has told Musalia Mudavadi, you must go for the seat.
Lazima around it.
Lazima. But in politics, things can happen. If Musalia was to support Ruto for presidency, then Musalia will lose a lot of his support in Western Province. Then Raila now will get the support of Luhya Nation, and he may also get the Luhyas now may all go to vote for the Raila camp. He will lose, and that's a very big chunk of votes. We're talking about 4 million votes. So Musalia may be in that camp without votes. Okay. The Luhya vote will not go with him. The Luhyas are keen this time that the Kalenjins have led this country. President Uhuru Kenyatta came kwa matanga ya mama akasema, it's not a must that presidency revolve around 2 tribes. The Kalenjin have ruled. The Kikuyus have ruled. Why can't the Luya also rule? So why would Mudavadi go ahead and support Ruto? I think that's where the problem will come. That Mudavadi will not get the support of the Luya nation. His handlers will not allow him. And his party will not allow him. But the other way around, in case Ruto reaches a place and says, it's not a must, me as William Samoei Ruto
to be
become
president. That is when Musalia will agree to work with him.
That's when the talks continue.
Asubuhi mapema.
And they win.
Haya.
They win.
Eliud, the son I used to have a debate with this guy. Karibu sana Eliud, the son. So, of God is many. Sasa,
yes.
Kuuliza Mungu.
Kuuliza mimi.
Now,
yeah.
The only person who's going to beat the game will be someone who will get 50+1.
Yeah.
With the coalitions that you're putting on the table, there seems not to be one yet that can pass the 50+1 threshold. Now, what would be the strategy of politicians who are running for president, or flag bearers who are running for president? What would be the strategy for Musalia Mudavadi, for Raila Odinga and William Ruto? Because those are the flag bearers that you've mentioned already. What would be their strategy in coalescing to ensure that they get the 1+1, the 50+1? Yes.
Mount Kenya. That's why you see this hullabaloo around Mount Kenya. The 50+1 vote will mainly be a vote. Mount Kenya will have to be roped in. The person who will give Kenya a president in 2022 will be a person who joins properly and gets big vote from Mount Kenya. Now, I've been told, those who are doing analysis are saying, for Raila to win this election round 1, he must get 30% of Central Province. 30% of Central Province and all his Luo Nyanza votes. Then he can now gamble with a few votes in Coast, a few votes in Nairobi, and a few votes elsewhere. William Ruto needs almost 70% of Central Province. Actually, they say 75% of Mount Kenya votes for him to win. So you see where the battleground is, Mount Kenya. If William Ruto gets 75% of votes from Mount Kenya, he wins round 1. For Raila, he needs 30% for him to win round 1. Now, the next person is Musalia Mudavadi. Musalia Mudavadi has a very big population called the Luya population. You see,
which has never voted one way.
And that's now what Musalia Mudavadi needs. He needs to coalesce and to bring on board the Luya vote. If he gets 100 or 80% of the Luya votes, 80% of the Luya votes, between 80 and 100%, he only needs 20% of Mount Kenya and a bit here and there from everywhere else, and he wins round 1.
Okay.
So the battleground is in the Luya nation and in the Central Province.
Okay.
Now, Luya nation, Musalia Mudavadi and Weta. That's why we as the Luya nation are feeling very proud. We have other Luya candidates, by the way, if you're not aware. Ruben Kagame, he wants to become president, he's a Luya. Musa Kitui wants to become president, he's a Luya. But we don't talk about Oparanya, I don't know where he wants to go.
He does votes to ODM.
Yeah, but the person we know, if Weta and Musalia, and we have been tell them to form a union called, a coalition now called for Luyas, called AFC. AFC
Leopards.
Coalition. AFC is not AFC Leopards. AFC coalition is ANC and Ford Kenya. AFC. ANC, Ford Kenya. They'll form a coalition of the Luyas. Where Ford Kenya has placed a candidate, ANC will not place a candidate. So Luya land will be galvanized to vote for one person.
You even have to start forming a coalition locally.
We'll do it.
Within yourself.
Yes, because we Luyas have sub-tribes, you know. Luyas, unlike others, we have this Tiriki, Bukusu, Baragoli, Kisa. So the Luyas are going to form their own coalition so that they galvanize their nation. With 80% of the Luya vote, Musalia is talking anytime. And it means he has locked out Raila, he has locked out William Ruto. So these two have only to run to Mount Kenya to see if they can get votes. So the battleground is that's where I think I've given you the strategy for this election. If anybody can win 50+1, you need the Luhya vote
And the Central Kenya.
and the Central Kenya vote.
All right. What is the probability of a runoff in 2022?
Very big in sense that if Raila decides to be on the ballot, Ruto on the ballot, and One Kenya Alliance on the ballot, then we see a runoff. This runoff is going to come in this way. Ruto will fail to get all the 80% from Central.
Okay.
He will not be able to get the 80%. Then Raila will not also be able to get the 30% from Central. He'll get some percentage of the old guards from minor commander. He may get some 10%. And then Mudavadi will lock them out from Luhya land. So they'll not be able to get the votes from Luhya land. But Mudavadi will have them. Now, the two contestants that will go after the runoff is where now the question comes. Will it be Raila versus Ruto, or Ruto versus Mudavadi, or Raila versus Mudavadi? You see that? That is now where the question should actually come. In case of a runoff, who are the two contestants that will be above? And I can give them to you straight away.
Hey.
Raila is out because his support base is the Luo Nation. The Luo Nation, if you look at their voters, they are around 1.8, around 2 million. The Kalenjin support base is around also 2 million total. But the Hustler Nation will give a lot of votes to Ruto. So Ruto may end up on the second round.
Okay.
Musalia Mudavadi now comes in as the person who will go for the runoff with the Ruto. Now ask me how. The Luhya vote. If Mudavadi gets the full Luhya vote, which can be around 4 million, he's already on the runoff with those ones alone. He's already on the runoff. He will go with the runoff. And now the question will be, will the Raila support Mudavadi or will Raila support Ruto?
William. Okay.
That's where the question now is.
All right. Aya ndio funga bunge la mwenyeji. Swali la mwisho. Mambo ya BBI. We're having the hearing on Friday, this Friday, at in an open court. So it means that anybody who has an issue with the ruling would give a stay or give an objection as the ruling proceeds. There were a lot of fears as well from those guys who won the first time, that this time the state could influence the court to have an online or a virtual hearing. So we are going to have an open court proceeding on Friday. So if you have an issue with the ruling, you can order for a stay as the ruling proceeds. So I just wonder what is going to happen. What do you expect on Friday? Is the Supreme Court going to reinstate the decision by the High Court that BBI is null and void, or is going to give it a new lease of life? Amunga.
Yes. Thank you. BBI is not yet the end. What's going to happen this Friday is just again another peak in the discussion. Whoever loses is going to the Supreme Court. So personally, I'm not even worried about who will win and lose. Whoever wins will celebrate for a few minutes and will be served with a notice to appear at the Supreme Court. So there's nothing much to celebrate or
Do
not
you
to celebrate.
still stand by your statement that BBI is dead?
BBI died in terms of it's beaten by the timelines. Already we are in August, meaning we are 1 year to the election. So to us, even in the ANC as a party, BBI died. BBI doesn't add much value right now.
You have moved on.
We have moved on. We know it cannot work because of the timelines. The timelines a referendum cannot be held after now. It's impossible. And somebody obviously is going to the Supreme Court. So we know it's not even, it's just a drop in the wilderness. It's not going to help anyone. The thing that we are talking about is IPPG. We have tried to drop in so many people, even parliamentarians and members of the Senate, that as BBI is being read out this Friday, Parliament must now take up so that we can get a few minimum reforms to reform especially the electoral process. I think the problem should now not be the government structure. The government structure will need a referendum. And as things stand right now, we cannot go have BBI to take on the government structure. However, I am told that ODM and other parties like that, even some in Jubilee, believe that they want to support Raila so that when Raila takes over as the president, he can continue the BBI process, change the government structure when somewhere within his rule, so the people will support him can be able to get some seats, like leader of opposition, prime minister, but that can come up after the election coming into August 2022. What we want to say is this. I think that is being Cornish. And sometimes I agree with William Ruto on that. We can't be thinking just about how to divide positions for people. Me and ANC want a process that Rekebishas will kind of rectify the electoral process in this country. The electoral process in this country is bad. People fight every year. We have election. Not because people hate each other. They do it because the electoral process is found to be wanting. The Supreme Court nullified the election of 2017 because they felt the electoral process was not free and fair. So what we need as Kenyans is, can we rectify the flaws, the problems that are facing the IEBC? Once that is done, let us go for the election. And Musalia Mudavadi is clear. That can be done by parliament. We don't need a referendum. We don't need BBI. We only need an interparliamentary party organization. And we shall get it.
Okay. Aaron, good morning. Jambo.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, Aaron. How are you?
Fine, thank you, Gerald.
Mambo.
Salamia Amunga.
Mesalimika ndiye anakula headphones.
Nasikia Amunga anapiga kelele sana.
Tena? Niambie.
Na najua the last time nilipiga ni Amunga kitu. Kuhusu Musalia.
Ulimwambia nini?
Nilimwambia bwana Musalia akuwe serious bwana.
Ya amekuwa serious sasa, amekuwa Naivasha.
He's too soft bwana. Najua Musalia is a good man. He's too soft for president. Tutaibiwa kila kitu hapa na hakuna kitu atafanya. Alafu another thing, you see,
yes.
Unajua hii maana ya kuwa president lazima uko na resources and numbers. I think Musalia ako na resources but now numbers ndio ana. Kwa ukiangalia vizuri tu na utumie good analysis. Unajua when you are doing analysis, pia unaangalia future na unaangalia pia nyuma, unaangalia before and after. So ukiangalia hata ile by elections zimefanyika Western. Leo Matungu peke yake. ODM na ANC. Ukiangalia namba zile walikuwa nazo. Still Musalia is not influential in Nyanza. I mean in Western. And sometimes mimi sikubaliana na Atwoli, lakini for the first time ili agree na yeye. Musalia is not serious. In fact Atwoli akisimama huko atashinda yeye. Ndio.
Okay.
Musalia is not on the ground. Not seen on the ground.
Okay.
Kwanza akonsolidate this strong base kwanza ndio aweze kwenda sasa international.
Amesema ameka coalition huko ndani wa Luya.
Iko
wapi? Hakuna bwana. You see? Hii siasa na Kenya si rahisi. Si kama hii ya wazungu mnapiga vitu. Hii ya Kenya ni ngumu bwana.
Hard small.
Very difficult.
Okay.
Mimi mwenyewe nisha participate in election bwana. Ni ngumu. Ni ngori mbaya sana. So Musalia, wacha nikwambie farasi ni mbili, Raila na Ruto. Hii nyingine hii ni mchezo tu.
Okay.
Kama sasa hizo hajakubali, hata Musalia hajui kama atakuwa presidential candidate. Hajajua as of now.
Amesema atatangaza, anasema mtajua, mjui, mtashtuka sana. Mtasikia ukitangaza.
Alafu wanaenda retreat. Kwa nini walisema Nairobi? Lazima hata Naivasha ndio waseme kitu.
Haya sawa.
Sasa utakuwa sababu nuko Mombasa tena.
Umeteremka tena ni tour bwana. Hata mimi nataka kuingia ANC nilikuwa napata tour ya serikali.
Anyway watapata tu wabunge lakini hii nyingine Musalia atakuwa namba 3 4 huko.
Okay. Sawa.
Namba 5.
BBI unaonaje Friday?
Sawa.
Friday BBI?
BBI, unajua sasa BBI haina umuhimu hata ikipita isipite, timeline imepita bana.
Okay.
Na because we can't have referendum at the same time to election in 1 year. How now? It's not possible.
Haya, sawa, amesema inawezekana unaweza kuwa na ballot moja na karatasi iko na kura tofauti. Haya Aroni, asante, tuonane kesho kwenye Diaspora Edition. Asante sana. Bunge la mwananchi 0779-800-010 0779-800-010. Bunge la mwananchi iko wazi, nambari ni 0779-800-010. Nambari ni 779-800-010. Haya, bunge la mwananchi 0779-800-010 liko wazi, unaweza piga uweze kuzungumza, utuambie mawazo yako ni vipi. Siasa inaendelea kukanganyana. Sema the more things change, the more they remain the same. The more things change, the more they remain the same. Bunge la mwananchi 0779-800-010. Amunga.
Yes.
Ulikuwa unaongea.
Unajua nikisikiza huyo jamaa ameitwa
kuna mungwana hapa amekuja. Jamo. CK.
Mambo.
Good morning to you. How are you?
Morning, you're good.
Kabisa.
Salimia Amunga hapo, mwambie. One.
Yes.
This is between two individuals. It is between Team Ruto and Raila.
Mm-hmm.
I think to some point Raila will have a hand in making Musalia come to his camp.
Okay.
So that is my thought. And to Amunga, I agree with him on the knee. This BBI thing, it is dead on arrival.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, if you are told we are going for a runoff, it will be between Ruto and any other.
Any other?
Yes.
Ruto. So Ruto is a constant factor. The denominator. The denominator.
Yes, Ruto here is the denominator. Everyone wants to fight him.
Okay.
Sawa.
Haya, asante sana CK. Haya, nambari ni 0779-800-010. Bunge la mwananchi 0779-800-010. Haya, Felix.
Hello.
Jambo
Gerald.
Leta habari.
Habari ya huyu mzee hauko hapo bana.
Salimia yeye. Siku hizi niko na mashine nasema jina yako. Usicheze na mimi. Tuambie.
Mzito anajaribu kujitetea.
Hai, jamaa bwana anajua kusema hii maneno sana.
You know, the only difference between the people arguing out on the radio stations and TV stations is that they don't speak the truth.
Okay.
Compared to what the people you bring here.
I appreciate.
Now the guy you brought here today is telling us pure lies. He's trying to market somebody. When he market,
okay.
He can't even come to number 3. That's the difference. And okay. That Jamaa could be even a project.
Okay.
Kwa sababu how can you be in Naivasha for a whole week and then come without a manifesto mtuambie mko pamoja?
Wameenda Mombasa, ndio atatoka sasa kutoka Mombasa huko.
So without anything surely.
Okay, atatuambia. Haya. Atatuambia kwa nini walitoka Naivasha bila nini. Haya. Sawa, bunge la mwananchi iko wazi 779. Nimeona simu yako Polycarp nimepoteza kidogo. Lakini nambari simu bado iko wazi 779-800-010 au 779-800-010. Bunge la mwananchi 779-800-010. Na Polycarp Cheng, nambari yako nimekupoteza kidogo kwenye line. Lakini bunge la mwananchi bado liko wazi 779-800-010. Polycarp.
Yes, Gerald. Good morning.
Good morning to you. How are you?
Salimia Amunga. Amunga was my Kiswahili teacher at Kisumu Day.
Wow. Very good.
Wow.
I'm very happy to see you having this discussion. Yes, Gerald.
Do you agree with these views and opinions?
I'm getting him, but you see, we have to be very factual. Akina Amunga wanadanganya Mudavadi. They are really lying to Mudavadi. Mudavadi kwanza mululu, tutaenda Raila tamshinda huko vibaya. Na wanajua hiyo. Me, I think personally, from a very honest point, the competition for 2022 is between Ruto and Raila. Ndio wanashindana. Mudavadi is out of question. Personally, I think Kalonzo is more senior than Mudavadi.
Okay. He's out of question.
And even if you had to compare who's bringing something on board, Kalonzo looks more serious. Kalonzo brings something. Kalonzo anaweza enda Ukambani ambao Wakamba watu wapige kura mahali. Mudavadi cannot. And I think we are also forgetting the fact that both Ruto and Raila are political mobilizers. So Mudavadi is out of question. Wacha tuone venye atakuwa, lakini waache kudanganya Mudavadi. Number 2, we look at politicians around Mudavadi, people like Cleophas Malala. Mkenya yupi ataanza kuamini Malala sasa akianza kuadvise Mudavadi? No experience. You look at
Polycarp, wacha kuchoma wewe, unajoma.
Sichomi mwalimu. You know, it's good to be realistic.
Hata ugopi teacher. Ugopi teacher. Ugopi teacher.
Nikwambia na ukweli.
Lazima mwambie ukweli.
Nianze kuambiwa na Malala. Ati sasa we support sasa Malala surely. And we be realistic for a minute. And that is only another mistake William Ruto is doing. Trying to parade Kimani Ichung'wah to now convince us.
Hello? Polycarp. Ni kama Polycarp ametuacha.
That's my student. I remember him.
Yeah, you remember Polycarp. Lakini amesema akwambie ukweli. Anasema the truth shall set you free.
I'm the teacher bwana. I'm the one who can teach him.
Amesema hii sasa atakufunza. Amesema ulimfunza Kiswahili lakini siasa atakufunza.
Nitamfundisha huyo kijana.
Haya. Bunge la Mwananchi 07798010. Bunge la Mwananchi 07798010. Kuna nafasi yako kuweza kuchangia mazungumzo tukielekea kufunga. Nilisema kiosk watu wakaniambia hapana ita kiosk. Anasema hiyo duka kubwa. Ile kufunga supermarket. Hata klasa zingine wanataka pia. Haya, Rasmo Koloni ule mzee anasema Malala ni maziwa lala tu. Haya, Caleb Korir anasema I believe Amunga analysis is on point. Tribal voting is true. I'm seeing amalgamation of Luhya vote this time around. Musalia is a big factor come 2022. It must be in the ballot. Nameka capital. Haya, was saying Shina people should understand nobody and no country that loved or wants Kenya do let us spearhead peaceful situation. Haya. Naona nani mwingine hapa Brian anasema let me classify events for everyone. In Mombasa they insisted Tinka is presidential candidate and he was given a go ahead to make a political maneuvers. Oka team were tasked to discuss and give the deputy president. Okay, that is why they're still in the hotels. To deliver deputy president, running mate. Viki Nemsi anasema joining you from Kibabi. We need new fresh people. Ruto and Raila kindly give us a break. Mukisa Kitui woye, future is bright. Sawa. Yote ni sawa pia. Brian Baran anasema this guy Amunga is a great political asset. On behalf of Wasla Nation, we wish to bid for him. Huyu alikuwa ndani, ni kwenda tu kumrudisha. Moses Masiaga anasema this man is a stranger here in Kenya. His analysis is too uncooked. Okay. Ongezeni moto kidogo. Abbas Njiguna, how do these percentages be achieved without a model? Tell us your strategies. On economy. Haya. Okay. On economy. Alright. Naona nani mwingine hapa. Marius Kiosema, I bet this guy doesn't understand the Kenyan politics very well. Haya, ashasema yake. Sasa sijui maoni yako ni gani? Na kuna nafasi ya kuweza kuchangia kwenye nambari 07798010 07798010. Bwana Mwananchi 07798010. James Mwenda, everyone in ODM and CTC busy bootlicking Ruto, busy criticizing Ruto, but when they are asked about the coalition with Ruto, their faces light up. Haya. Haya, asante. Tuendelea kufunga kazi. Wacha niende niangalie YouTube kidogo ndio nikirudi na kwa vipi. Anasema Rasmus Koloni anasema mheshimiwa nitapataje membership from UDA please. Sijui kabisa. UDA hata sijaikanyaga huko. Wacha nitakuulizia kama Mshomba angekuwa hapa ningemuuliza akusaidia vile utaenda, lakini wacha nani pia anajua mahali iko. Amunga.
Hapana.
Anajua mahali UDA iko, atakwambia ni vipi.
Unajua mahali wako.
No, si unajua mahali wako ofisi, unajua mahali ofisi ya UDA iko.
Sijui.
Hujui. Sawa, wacha tutakuulizia. Ras, we'll ask for you. Haya, kwa YouTube. Stanley White anasema BBI is dead and buried. Whoever who is still obsessed Midedi is an enemy of Kenya and its constitution. Newton Omoke, I salute you all. Today I'm late, but I follow up later when I'm done with my duty. Karibu sana Omoke. Vision Total Football Kenya, good to see you, my brother. Hi, Bitok, watching from London. Good to see you and the tackle back on air. The art tackle of Kenya. The art talk of Kenya. Good to see you. Thank you so much, my brother, all the way from the UK. It's good to see you as well. Great to see you as well. Grace Kamau GB, you have confused Amunga very much. Kazi yangu ni maswali. Sina maneno mingi. Karaoke Njora, anasema these are the so-called headliners. They will be in for a root shock. Atira or Ruta wachie ma DVD. Swala ngumu. Haya. Amesema Grace kama Amunga is making me laugh. Blessed Frank, forget Ruta sitting for my DVD. Grace kama Malala said it. White Amunga is a comedian by excellence. Calling Kahiga and Kimemia young. Truly funny. Edwin Otere, politicians ni ujinga. Next time Amunga will be on this show, he will be singing Raila song together with his boss my DVD. Just more, Amunga should take his opinions to a comedy show. How do you say Mutai Kaiga is young? Surely, he's just another psycho looking for a high table in politics. Grace Kamau, what a good question GB to Amunga. Grace Kamau, kimemia jameni. Ni kijana mdogo wa miaka 60 na kitu. Dano Nduko, Raila asked people in Mount Kenya already. Those guys who are campaigning for him didn't vote for him in 2017. This is very positive for Raila already. Well, yeah, it's a win for him. I mean, he's backing a step. Stanley White, surely this Amunga guy is funny and somehow informed and can articulate issues that are currently in thinking of the modern era voters. Asante. Grace Kamau Amunga, Kanini Kega will not help you in any way. Very well. Very true. The likes of Commander, PK and Waiguru will not help Raila in any way. Waiguru, as realized, will be on-term governor. Commander and PK plus Murathe are losers in Mount Kenya. Aya, Frederick Juma, tell Amunga awache kuongea chenye ajui. Oka will join Raila and they will form a coalition with them. The lady panelist who was there yesterday knows more of what is happening in Oka than Amunga. Gilbert Bonsa, good morning. So good morning to you. Na mwingine hapa. Kuteseka ni kwa muda. Morning Bitok watching from Langata. Pole kwa kupoteza simu. Asante sana. Naona wakati wa ibada imeisha na hata mjanitolea sadaka kunichangia simu. Lakini ni sawa tu. Yote Mungu ni mwema. Blessed Frank, good morning GB. Good to see you. Edwin Juma, good morning from Moscow. Good to see you. Thank you so much, other guys who are watching in from diaspora. It's always great to have you on the show. Kiptek kasema tunajua siasa ni kutupanga tu. It's gonna be tough this time. Moses Kodu ma DVD Crusader. We need other Crusaders. They should improve his politics. Asla Nation wako ndani. Haya. Mambo yangu ya mwisho Amunga.
You know, politics is very interesting. One, it makes you to be alert. Mm-hmm. The callers and the people who are commenting, many of them already have taken a stance. Many of them seem to have taken a stand. And they are not looking at the bigger picture of how things play. Politics is not about rallies. You see, I was telling somebody yesterday on, somebody was on one of our WhatsApp groups after they posted big pictures of Raila in Nakuru. Yeah. With the big crowds, and everybody was like, you see, in fact, the MP for Nakuru is called Arama. Arama came up and said, we didn't even mobilize. This just came out of nowhere. And we started talking to them. I said, this is a lie. That's how people lie in politics. Gerald, let me tell you this. Mm-hmm. Those are just the lies that you hear in politics. Okay. Because when you saw those loudspeakers around... those cars with loudspeakers surrounding Raila in Nakuru yesterday. Yeah. It means somebody had organized that Raila will address a crowd. Mm-hmm. Whoever organized those loudspeakers to be around and those audio or whatever they call them, also organized the listeners. The people will be there to listen. Those borders you saw following those vehicles around, I know, I've been in politics. They are paid. You don't go. Those barbers just don't run around with their picky around you. I mobilize earlier. Yes. Mobilize picky maybe 300 picky. Paid each one of them 500 shillings. Then those picky also carry one person or two person. Then they all mobilize in one place. Then pictures are taken. Now, a Kenyan who is watching TV looks at that and says, that's the president. The fifth president. Wacha tuseme hivi. Kenyans, stop being out there only on WhatsApp and on Twitter and on Facebook. Stop just seeing pictures. Join Amunga out here in the field. We are doing the real campaign. And somebody who is also talking about Oka officials being in hotels. He's mistaken.
Yeah. They are not in hotels.
They are not just in hotels. They are everywhere.
Okay.
even this country, when there was the post-election violence, the solutions were found in Serena Hotel. Hotel. That's the word. These people called Benjamin Mkapa, Mama Gracia Machel, the late Kofi Annan, they met sober Kenyans, sober-minded Kenyans like Musalia Mudavadi in a place called Serena Hotel. That's why they solved this problem called post-election violence. Allow me also to say this, that the post-election violence, I mean, the NAC government that brought in Mwai Emilio Kibaki was formed in a hotel. They met in a hotel, Serena Hotel. And again, from this, when they went to Uhuru Park and announced that now we have Kibaki Tosha. What I'm saying, therefore, is this, dear Kenyans. When you see Musalia Mudavadi meet Kalonzo Musyoka, don't look at it as if it's just a joke going on in a hotel. That is how governments are formed.
Serikali.
And Hustler members, wacheni matusi. I have seen William Ruto the other week, the whole of last week. Samuel Ruto has been meeting people in a hotel in Naivasha, building economic manifestos for Nyanza region, for I don't know which QC region. They were being done in a hotel. So meeting in a hotel, there's nothing wrong with meeting in a hotel. Even from here, I'm going to be talk for breakfast in a hotel. And I may convince him to join ANC. Let me say
the breakfast is okay. The other one we'll discuss, but I would love to have the breakfast.
And finally, ladies and gentlemen, siasa mzuri, maisha mzuri.
Siasa mbaya,
maisha mbaya. Wacheni siasa euphoria. This man we are talking about, whom we discover he doesn't have, after the caller say Musalia is a good man. He's a good man, but I don't know, he needs to be what?
He's too good for politics.
So that's what we want. Moi saw something in Musalia. That's why he made him vice president. Emilio Kibaki saw something in Musalia. That's why he wanted him to become president. This man called Uhuru Kenyatta is now the current president. He has seen something in Musalia. That's why at one point he made him his running mate. That's why Musalia Mudavadi remains a close friend of the current president of this country. All the donors in this world, talking about the people from the Bretton Woods, people from IMF, and ambassadors from Canada, from Britain,